Recently, quite a few guys who reached 515 item level, which is the minimum item level required for weekly raids, asked quite a lot of questions about the weekly raids. So the majority was mostly interested in rune slots needed on the tier 4 gear and how long it would take to get the entire set and so on. So I'm gonna try to address a few of those topics in this video or during the stream today. Keep in mind that my knowledge is based on the Korean weekly rates, and we might get a slightly modified version in RU. So yeah, let's start with some basic infos. I already gave you a few infos in my previous video about the weekly rates and preparation. So I'm gonna assume that you watched it and will or won't repeat those infos. So first of all, you need weekly raid tickets. Weekly raid tickets are those one here. And yeah, those are dropped from tier 4 guardian raids. Any of the tier 4 guardians can drop it, and also you can obtain it from the traveling merchant Endy. You can exchange the Chaos Rift shards for the Endy's box, and it can give you weekly raid tickets. The tickets will be consumed once you enter the raid, and if you fail to clear the raid, the ticket will be gone, and it is possible if you fail too often that you can run out of those weekly raid tickets. But don't worry, as long as you have as long as you know the boss patterns and prepare combat item wise and rune slots or rune wise, you should be able to clear the weekly raids with a little bit of practice. Every week we will get 3 weekly raids to clear, and each of those can be cleared only once, so you can only obtain the reward once. Not sure if we can re-enter it to help other guildmates, but for sure you can only obtain the reward once. Also in the weekly raid you have to kill 2 to 3 raid bosses within 20 minutes, but once again, it's doable. Next, you won't be able to craft the full set within a week. Usually you should be able to craft between 2 to 3 parts per week, and that means you should first compare the set effects of weekly gear or weekly raid gear with your current tier 4 gear. I guess most of you will have full raid gear. It might be different from the Korean weekly raid set bonus and polish bonus. Most likely, it is not worth it to equip any parts of your weekly raid gear until you have the full set. But if you think you can kill the weekly raid guardians without having the 5 set bonus here, 15% raid boss damage, if you think you can manage to do that, you can of course equip once you have 3 parts of the weekly raid gear and carry on. Now let's talk about the rune slots, which is the most important thing for weekly raid gear, also in preparation for weekly raid gear currently on your tier 4 gear. Let me just open. Yeah. So by now you should already know the basic stuff about runes. I won't go through which kind of runes there are and what a rune slot is and how to reroll it and what an amplified rune slot is. You should know that. If you don't know what that is, watch my tier 4 gear min-maxing guide in my YouTube channel. The rune slot setup I would recommend for your current gear as a preparation to clear the weekly raid is the following one. I would recommend to have 3 purple slots, and at least 2 of those have to be amplified so that you can reach 100% immunity to a certain cells effect. Then I would also recommend 3 green slots, and of course 2 of those have to be amplified so that you can get 60% resistance to a certain element and 40% resistance to another element, because most of the time you will have not only, like as mentioned, you can have 3 guardians which you have to kill in 20 minutes, and they can be 2 different elements of guardian. For example, Yoho and Hellgaia, fire, and then the third one is Armored Nakrashena, which will be thunder or lightning. Next, you can also go for 2 green amplified and use the 3rd slot for red or blue to deal more damage or get more shield. But I would only recommend that for people who know what they are doing, and if you can avoid to take damage, because if you have only 2 green slots, you will have 40% and 40% resistance max for 2 different elements. I'm currently going for 3 green slots because Warlord, and I will most likely taunt the boss pretty often, so I will take damage. So I want to avoid to take too much damage. That's why I have 3 green slots. And the remaining rune slots should be red and blue amplified slots if you want to go for perfect min-maxing. And but personally, I would recommend to have more red than blue amplified slots, because weekly raid bosses can be different type of bosses. So it's not only bees, or it's not only insect. It can be 2 bosses are bees and 1 insect, or it can be one boss is bees, 1 is insect, 1 is ancient. So it's everything is possible. So having red runes with attack power will deal more damage to all the bosses, and it doesn't matter which type they are. Bard, of course, should go for full red. Like, not full red, I mean, apart from green and purple, which I already mentioned, they should go for full red, because the shields of Bard will be stronger if they slot in the red amplified rune slots, the HP rune. Following, we have like, wait, did I go through them? Yeah, okay, so here a big warning. Rerolling rune slots will cost you, as you can see, are gonna cost you a lot of shilling. It's gonna increase if you try it again and again, and if you fail to get the perfect or the one which you need. And it's gonna also need catalysts. So you can run out of this, and that's why I recommended to farm those during the last few weeks. And I also mentioned that in my preparation video, which I released 2 weeks ago, that you should start farming catalysts just for that purpose, if you are unlucky and if you need to reroll a lot. So I would recommend to, if you have the confidence that you can do it without a lot of red or blue amplified, try to go with, you know, it doesn't have to be everything amplified. You can go with also normal one. But if you have the feeling you don't have enough damage to clear the weekly raids, then you can try to get those as amplified slots. So you will save some catalyst and shilling. And that will be needed once you have the entire weekly raid set crafted. You will have to get a similar rune setup on that weekly raid gear. So that will take a lot of catalyst and shilling again. So every catalyst and shilling you can save on this one will help you to get the perfect min-maxed weekly raid gear. But don't be too greedy. If you save too much and just have not enough damage, it might be the case that you will that your weekly raid tickets will suffer. Okay, that's it. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions later, once I upload it on YouTube, ask in the comments. And currently on the stream, I will now pay attention to your questions, guys. Thanks for watching.